Good morning, welcome back to the program here. Before we get to my next guest, I want to do a big thanks to the Grand Lake Chamber of Commerce, right at the western edge of Rocky Mountain National Park. They got a lot going on up there. It's an absolutely beautiful place, endless hiking. Check them out at grandlakechamber.com. And speaking of Grand Lake, we got a special guest from Grand Lake today. How you doing, Bart?
Great.
And Bart, you're a new owner of a couple businesses in Grand Lake, I understand.
Yeah, my wife and I are. Our first anniversary is coming up. It's this month. So.
Well, this month, so you're just hitting a one-year anniversary.
Exactly, yeah.
And well, I'm going to have a guess at one of the businesses we're doing here. I'm guessing you guys have a liquor store over there.
Yep, the liquor store, Grand Lake Wine and Spirits.
Grand Lake Wine and Spirits. And then what's the other business?
Cabin Quilts and Stitches.
Cabins, Quilts, and Stitches.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's what my wife does. She's on that side. And
so
she's a quilt fanatic. So
you each have some interest going here, which is pretty awesome. Not only do we have a good selection of boozes in front of me, what I love about it is a lot of them are they all Colorado?
These are all Colorado, produced. Breckenridge, I've got some couple of Denver, Boulder, and one from actually Vail.
And I'm sure you guys have a lot of great Colorado beer, which everyone's always known Colorado's a great microbrew state. I am only recently, in the last year or two, been becoming aware of how much booze is distilled and made in Colorado, and there's some really high-end quality booze.
Well, and I didn't know that the distilleries so much before we bought the store. Microbreweries, of course, are across the nation.
Yeah.
But the distilleries in Colorado, I was surprised to find.
So it's kind of like a little delayed explosion from the brewery explosion. So fun to see. Yeah. So why Grand Lake? What made you guys settle in Grand Lake? You weren't there, living there before you bought the stores, were you?
No, we actually met there in town in 1990.
Your wife and you did?
Yep.
That's how you met? Yep. On vacation?
No, we were actually camp counselors for a summer.
No kidding.
Grand Lake Arts Camp was there.
1990, that's a while back. That put you back in school?
Yeah, we were both college students, music education majors, so we got some summer experience working with kids.
Nice. And you're a Colorado guy, born and raised?
Yep.
And where's she from?
Well, she was born in Nebraska but raised in Colorado.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah. So you're both Colorado students and you came up to just enjoy a beautiful summer in Grand Lake?
Yep, we did, yeah. I had 4 summers there and she was the last 2 summers.
So recently you retired.
Yep.
And so it was a natural pick to say, hey, let's go move to the mountains and go back to Grand Lake.
Well, that's how God worked it out, because we were planning to stay in Kentucky after I retired from Fort Knox, and then Jeanette, my wife, she was box office manager at Rocky Mountain Repertory Theater.
Oh, so she had connections there too.
Yeah. So, and that's actually how we found out about the 2 stores being for sale. So it's been our dream for years to move to Grand Lake, and it all came together. So.
Oh, good for you guys. The timing couldn't be more perfect too. That you each got your store opened up.
Yeah, it was great.
Okay, so you retired from Fort Knox. That must mean you're military.
Army.
Army guy.
Yep.
How many years?
I did 21.
21 years. Well, that's incredible. Thanks a ton for your service. That's amazing.
It was a real honor, and got to do what I love to do, because I was a saxophone player.
What?
In the Army. Yeah.
You play saxophone?
Yep.
That's incredible.
Yeah, for 21 years. My wife, Jeanette, and we actually joined together. She's a flute player, so.
You're both in the band?
Yep.
Man, good for you guys.
Yeah, it was good.
And how long were you in Fort Knox?
Almost 8 years. There.
8 years. That's almost half your career.
It was pretty close to it. Yeah.
So did you? Now I know sometimes they tell you where you're going to live. Sometimes you're picking where you're going to live. Where did Fort Knox fall in that?
Well, I got to pick that.
So it was a destination. I'm going to guess that you have some liking for whiskey.
Yeah, I'd enjoy a good bourbon, and being in Fort Knox, that's bourbon country right there. So.
Bourbon and gold country.
That's right, yeah.
So were you guarding gold? I mean, obviously you're playing a little saxophone, but that's not 24/7 all week long. What else were you doing?
Mostly. I mean, as my career got towards the end, I was senior NCO, so a little bit more management, soldier management and personnel management. Of course, everybody, because we had a band there, and everybody had an additional duty, so I did also administration.
Well, how many hours a week are you playing saxophone?
Typical week, I'd say, as far as actual performances, maybe 5 to 10.
Holy cow! Okay, so you spent some good time.
Yeah.
For those guys.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you what, we didn't know that. We should have had to bring your saxophone in instead of all those booze. We could have done a little music thing in the corner.
Well, I don't know about that, but it's been over a year since I touched one. You know. Yeah, but
So when you were done, you put the reeds down, and that was that for a little while. Huh?
Unfortunately, it's just this last year, you know, being new business owners has been 24/7.
Yeah, well, that's true. Yeah, you got to get things dialed in before you can get back to the hobbies, right?
Yeah, exactly, and that's really what happened.
So did you guys travel much with the Army band, or does that stay?
Yeah,
Are you playing the Army Navy games? I mean, are you?
No.
Okay, that's the student band.
Those are the academy
college
bands.
Yeah. Okay.
But and the time that I was in, the Army had 29 bands across the world, and so.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, we started in Germany. We had in one of the U.S. Army bands in Germany.
So are we a Kenny G guy, or who's an influence? Who's someone you'd look up to in the musical world?
Yeah, Kenny G. You know, he's nice and popular, but
yeah, right.
I don't know. It's.
I don't know if you had any. I wish I knew more historical sax players, and is that jazz, or I don't even know what we're in there.
Yeah, I lean back more towards the classical, Benny Carters. And
there we go. There's an influence. All right. Well, hey, I see you queued up a few shots for us here. I'm pretty excited to have a little taste and see what's going on here in Colorado. So we're going to take a quick break, and when we get back, I'm going to get to dive into a couple of these selections that Bart has brought us here. And once again, I'm hanging out with Bart Lone. Am I saying that right? Lone?
Yeah, like the Ranger. Lone.
Bart Lone with Grand Lake Wine and Spirits, and also say the quilt shop again.
Cabin Quilts and Stitches.
Cabin Quilts and Stitches right there on the boardwalk in Grand Lake. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back in a moment.